Today I'm going to be trying a recipe from Betty Crocker's Dinner in a Dish. If you'd like to go straight to the cooking portion of this video, you can skip ahead to this timestamp. And as usual, I will have the full recipe written in the description down below. I know that I have a few new subscribers, so hey everyone, my name's Anna, and I like to try recipes from my vintage cookbook collection, which is back here. In a lot of my videos, you will first see me reviewing a vintage cookbook, and then the second half of the video is a recipe that I'm trying. Usually I've never tried these recipes before, so it's all new to me. We're learning together. That's kind of my deal. There have been a few people out there who don't quite understand what I'm doing, and that's fine, but they have made it known that it is not their thing, and that's okay too. It doesn't have to be everyone's thing. I'm not for everyone. You can't please everyone. But anyway, if you did choose to subscribe and you're watching now, thank you so much. You're very, very welcome, and I'm happy to have you here. This book is from 1965. This book was a gift from my friend Caitlin. She actually found this for me at Half Price Books. She sent me a photo of the store she was shopping in and said, hey, do you want any of these? Boy, did I want this one. I have a newer version of Dinner in a Dish that's from the 70s, but I did not have this beautiful 1965 version. The cover photo is a little bit of a combination to me. I can't quite tell if it's just an illustration or if it's an illustration and photograph combo. If it is fully just an illustration, the person did an excellent job because this dish looks real. One of the first things I noticed when I opened this book, in the upper corner of the inside of the first page, it says South of the Border Soup 112. So I'm gonna be making South of the Border Soup today. I absolutely had to try this. It does look like the person tried it because as you can see, we've got some staining on the pages. Another thing that I enjoy, oddly, either they wanted to try it or they enjoyed it themselves. Touching on some of the highlights of this book for me, we have this intro page to the company best chapter. And I mean, just a vision in pastel. We've got roses, we've got daisies, we've got a taper candle. Like this illustration is just so much fun. It's got that 60s feel to it, kind of a combination almost of like a watercolor and a sketch. The one dish dinner is perfect party fare. Easy to assemble well in advance of dinner hour. It streamlines preparation and simplifies service. And this is the secret of relaxed and gracious entertaining. So the secret's out. You've heard it here first. Another message from the previous owner, or one of the previous owners of this book, it says, try this. So this being parsley rice ham squares. I don't know if they ever got to try it, but that's another one that maybe should go on my list. Sometimes these illustrations really get me and they make me giggle. This very regal looking turkey head. It's like a pink and purple turkey head with a crown, one-step cream sauce. I'm assuming they're doing something with like turkey or chicken a la king. I mean, it's a very nice looking turkey, I guess, but it's just the head. Something I absolutely loved on this page, we have these very colorful illustrations of different chafing dishes. Maybe this is just me, but I don't know that we use chafing dishes as much anymore as they did maybe at this time period. Perhaps the crock pot or the slow cooker replaced chafing dishes for like warming purposes. I just love this. We've got like orange and green and pink, and you just don't see them like this anymore, do you? Something I often notice in like Betty Crocker cookbooks and Better Homes and Gardens cookbooks of this era especially, is that they tend to like repurpose some of the recipes. So if you have a 1971 Betty Crocker recipe card library, or you watch my friend Melinda's channel, Unboxing Betty, she's cooking her way through the entire box, you might recognize this recipe for fondue loha. This recipe appears in this book. I think it even appears in another book that I have in my collection, and it appears in the recipe card library. So basically this is like a kind of tropical themed chicken salad that you serve in a hollowed out half of a pineapple. So we're talking pretty fancy stuff here. Classics for a crowd, coffee clues, and tea tips. How to make a gloriously large amount of coffee and tea, tips on how to keep it warm, that kind of thing. I just thought that was so cute, coffee clues and tea tips. We have another note from a previous owner of this book. This is one of my favorite things, and especially if you're new here and you've never watched my videos before, I love it when there are notes in a cookbook. Some folks collect cookbooks and they like them to be in like very good, like very pristine condition. That's cool. I personally prefer it when we get little bonus tips like dish okay, sauce good. So apparently cheeseburgers in vegetable sauce. The dish overall was okay, but that sauce is phenomenal. Gotta love a good sauce. Oh, look at these. This is not what canned goods I think have ever looked like. Like these are props, I think. But look, that's the labels. Like, come on, product designers out there for canned goods, please take note. This is what I want to see when I go grocery shopping. Another thing I tend to notice in older cookbooks especially, the page layouts. If you look at a modern cookbook today, a lot of times you'll see maybe a full color photograph of a dish, and then on the following page you might see the recipe. I have a lot of cookbooks from recent times that are like this. But in these Betty Crocker books, I mean, there's tons of recipes, there's tons of illustrations. A lot of times, you know, there might even be like a photograph or something on a page that doesn't go with the recipe that's on this page. They're like a little bit more chaotic, and I kind of love that about them. I like salads. They're delicious. My salads don't look like this. Is that a salad, or are those actually just flowers? I think that it's spinach leaves with carrots and maybe boiled eggs as a garnish. Like, how do you eat that? Look how beautiful and vibrant these are. I love this photo. Can I blow this photo up and just like hang it in my office? Here we have the hot and zippy sandwich loaf. It's a loaf of bread with butter, a spread, and you put some Swiss cheese and salami. It almost looks like there's bacon draped over it, but I think that's just the cheese sauce. And you bake it, slice it, and eat it. It kind of makes me think of those little like Hawaiian roll sliders. I think those are delicious. The ones where you kind of like fill them and you put like a buttery sauce on them and bake them. I think that's kind of like the modern day version of this. Hot and zippy. Ooh, we have a very, very long note. Can also garnish with paper thin slices of cucumber, overlap slices, entire length. Oh, okay, so this is like a decorating tip. This person had a lot to say about the recipes in this cookbook, which means it was well loved, which makes me love it even more. I just love the font on this too, this Good Cook's Guide. Another thing I enjoy, like they mix up the lettering style so much in these, like all the time. Look at this. They just don't design cookbooks quite like this anymore that I have seen. If you've seen one, please tell me immediately so I can go buy it. Choosing a recipe out of this cookbook wasn't that hard because the previous owner told me what to do. South of the border soup, here we come. So South of the border soup comes to us from Simmered and Savory on the Double. And the previous owner, or at least one of the previous owners of this cookbook, dog-eared the page, went to the trouble of marking it in the beginning of this book, so it's either something that they very much wanted to try or that they liked a lot, so I just had to. This soup comes together very quickly, and it reminds me of those like emergency pantry shelf recipes that I've mentioned in some of my previous videos. Most of what you're going to need are canned goods, and then a little bit of spice and some water. We start with 1 can of bean with bacon soup. I can only find this healthy request kind. I don't think that's gonna matter too much. Yeah, it says 50% less sodium, and the rest of the canned goods probably have enough salt in them. Oh, okay, we're spatula time. Oh, beans in there. I'm pleased with the bean contents. 1 can of tomato soup. Woo, that was easier. And then 1 can of chili without beans. This was supposed to be a 10.5 ounce can. I accidentally grabbed a 15-ounce can, so I'm gonna use most of this and just like leave some of it behind, but I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm not gonna measure it. This is full of fall colors. Now I'm adding 1 soup can of water as indicated in the recipe, not 2, just 1. It said between 1/8 and 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. I went for the full 1/4 teaspoon, living dangerously here. Now it just says to stir and heat to boiling. So let's put some heat on this. It always seems like fall is really kind of the start of a very busy time of year. We head into the winter holidays, so I thought, you know, a quick soup, something warm but fast, would be a great way to kick off the month of November. It's a very thick soup. I've also seen a lot of recipes for, I don't know if this is quite the right name, like 7-can soup or 11-can soup. So it's like different kinds of beans and things that are in cans that you can throw together. Do you have a favorite recipe like this? I'd love to hear about that. I feel like this could also be great for camping because most of the ingredients are like shelf stable until you open them and put them together. I think it's boiling. We got a little on the edge here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. Looks like we have some movement in there. Let's give it a little bit more time and a few more stirs. This also makes like a really pretty good amount of soup. It says 4 to 6 servings. I think it'd be 4 if this is like your main dish, kind of most of what you were having. 6 if you were gonna serve it with like a salad or something. Wasn't super expensive ingredients wise. I did buy Campbell's soups because that's the only one I can find that had like bean with bacon. I got those on sale for $1.25 a piece. I think the can of chili was about $2. Pinch of garlic powder. I don't know, I'm gonna maybe count that as a nickel or so. And then your soup can of water. Pretty cost effective if you're paying like $4.55 to make this entire pot of soup. Okay, we're there. I'm gonna dish some up and give it a try. Got my little bowl and my little dino ladle. I'm gonna do tons, but just a little, just to taste. Just to garnish it with corn chips. I'm gonna use tortilla chips. I've got my Fiesta Grande, my favorite tortilla chips. They're very crunchy. There's my bowl of soup with the chips in it. Smells smoky, smells tomatoey. Okay, ready? I am not mad at that. That tastes pretty good. It was probably a good decision to go less sodium on one of the canned soups. Really good with those tortilla chips in there. And pretty balanced flavor-wise. If you need just like a really quick dinner or lunch and you want to do something a little bit different, I would definitely recommend this recipe. What's your favorite quick fall meal? Let me know in the comments down below. If you happen to love cookbooks and recipes from the 1960s, like I do, I have an entire playlist and I will link it in the description down below. I hope you liked this video. I hope you got some ideas. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the red button below. I post videos about food, vintage cookbooks, and retro recipes every week. Thanks again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.